Hello, this is a demo on how to render backside of a swimsuit figure and how to draw evening wear inspired swimsuit from the backside, especially when it has stripes. So I'm going to start as usual with my skin tone, which is barely beige. That's kind of go-to skin tone, I'd say. You can of course experiment with different colors always. Basically anything that starts with E you can try and make it into skin tone. Just experiment in advance and see if that works for you. So I'm covering my main areas with the skin tone. And of course I want to be cognizant of the anatomy of the backside, which has scapulus, which you're going to see. It has the spine and the spine vertebrae, which you will see as well. I mean, it all depends on your swimsuit design, of course, but if you have very open back, you have to draw more of a anatomically correct figure. So I have kind of a open back, but it has some design elements that are covering part of the anatomy. So I'm doing gluteus maximus muscles. Then in the back you have the hamstrings, which are kind of protruding muscles. You will see them pretty defined from the back side. Again, look at your photo swipe. It will help you to create better anatomical structure. And then because it's evening wear inspired, I'm gonna use high heels shoes on her. So now I'm just putting down basic tone. I'm not fussing too much. It's just first layer at the moment. So for the hair, this time I'm gonna do more brownish tones because we did blonde for a few times now. I'm gonna put this kind of reddish tone. It's called light sand tan and it's E13. So that's what I'm gonna use today. And then this part of the head is, you know, if you touch on yours, it's gonna have some rounder shape in that area. So that part we're gonna leave in more of a highlighted position. It's called kind of a halo effect. So if you wanna know kind of the term that illustrators use. And because E13 is pretty nice color for skin tone as well, I'm gonna actually use that to do my shadows on this body, which is kind of nice because I'm not changing my marker. So here in the back of the knee, you have this H, which again, if you look at photograph or try to see on yourself, it's this kind of connection of muscles that creates this H shape. Also, you have your calf muscles that create that shape of the calf, which is protruding, as well as you have Achilles muscles that you're going to see and ankle bones. So you want to consider all of those things when you're illustrating. So again, this is my dark color, and eventually I'll go back and blend it a little bit more, but for right now, these are the tones that I'm putting down. And the leg that goes in the back, that's going to be in a more of a shadow than the leg that stays in the front, to kind of have the plane change. Actually, I'm gonna just do it dark. So here where the body and arms overlap, that's the area where you're gonna have shadow. The scapulas are going to cast the shadow. Then you'll have a little bit of the spine and lower back being in a shadow. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use my original color right now and blend this all again. So I'm gonna go back to E11 again and blend the dark color in, because I don't want it to be too contrasty. I like some contrast, but I don't want too much. I like the small of the back, which is your kind of like where the tailbone is, that curvature of your small back is, you want that in a shadow. Spine is going to be kind of embedded in the muscles of the back, so that's going to be a little bit kind of like sunk in than the other ones that are on the side. And this part I'm gonna blend in because it's on the right side of the body. I want it to kind of have the illusion of the light source being on the top. So right now I'm just gonna blend this in very well. To have a smooth skin tone, but also kind of contrast the shadows, so I don't want to lose my shadows. For the hair, I'm gonna go to E15, which is a shade darker than the hair tone that I've started here. So I'm gonna go to doing the hair right now, and people sometimes they use this kind of reverse technique, so kind of like going from the source and then fuzzing, like making this kind of feathery effect towards the highlighted area, because that creates that more of a finer hairline quality. So I'm kind of going from the opposite direction. And then ends of the hair would be a little bit like feathered out to have that softer tone. While it's wet, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper with my hair tone on the right side, but of course it's gonna dry out. So at this point I'm gonna actually do shoes, because we're gonna see the back side of the shoe, right? So I'm gonna draw that in. And I'm just defining some areas, scapula overlapping of the body over the arms, a little bit of the definition on a spine. So the definition of the Achilles heel, and then going back and smoothing it out as well. Again, I'm sorry. So, and I want to go back to skin tone a little bit later when I finish the swimsuit, but for right now I just want to go in with my darker hair tone, which is E37 right now. And if you see, I'm kind of going in reverse motion from the inside out, because that's how you get a little bit more feathery strokes. I hope it shows on the camera, but that's kind of the technique I'm using to have that softer hair definition at the highlighted area. So for the swimsuit, I already drew in the stripes on the back, which is kind of like coral and red. That's what I decided to do for my swimsuit. So again, I'm putting lighter color first because I feel that's a little bit easier to correct if I do some mistake. If I do darker color first, then it's going to be more challenging. And other color is going to be a red. So I'm gonna do a little bit lighter red, then we'll go in with a deeper red here in the middle, because that's where I have the roundness of the buttocks. So I will approach that area with more of a lighter color than darker. And here too, I do red, but first I'm just gonna go in with lighter shade, then we'll go back with more of a deeper red shade. So I'm gonna just do some shadows as well. And again, this swimsuit fabric these days is not shiny. In the 80s it was pretty shiny, so people would do a lot of highlights back then. But you know, you don't need to leave any white highlights because it's really not that shiny anymore. You don't have shiny fabrics on for swimsuits that much. I mean, unless that's your design. But I'd say that those are rare. Okay, so I'll go back here on the sole of the shoes. I'm gonna make a little Louboutin type of red sole here, kind of more fun designer shoes on her. And the coral or pink color I'm gonna blend in. So this area, it's you want to make it more highlighted because it's the buttocks area and it's like more protruding. So you want to show that shape. You don't want to lose that highlighted area. So I'm using this to just kind of highlight everything. I'm gonna use this to just blend the red a little bit better. And now I look at the hair, I feel I want to go a little bit deeper with my darker hair color, because nowadays like a lot of people do like darker roots or balayage type of hairstyle, so maybe that would be nice to add. And again, like anytime you feel it went a little too much, you can always go back and fix it by blending it in. So I'm gonna blend it in with E13 a little bit more. I don't want high contrast. I think it looks a little crude. I like more of a blended look. So I don't feel you need to have extreme contrast. I'm actually inclined to use same Santan color for swimsuit shadows as well, because it just happened to be it's within the same kind of color family, so it doesn't interfere with the colors. So with this, I'm doing this chains again because it's evening wear inspired, and the reason I'm doing it with a tan color, because let's assume it casts shadows, then I'm gonna use my white color to just kind of create the chains that are inspired from evening wear. But that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go around and add definition with pencil as we did before, and maybe later I'll add some more shadows, but right now I just want to go in and add some pencil definition and collect everything with my pencil strokes, so the outline looks a little bit more neat and collected versus just, you know, lines everywhere. And this is opportunity for me to give some more definition to the hair. And again, like I can use this kind of backward stroke from both ends, so from here down and from here up, to have that strokes that are tapering down and creating more of an elegant highlighted look for the hair. Here. So then I'm adding some definition to the swimsuit, to the body. And again, you want to use your line quality, which is thin and thick line. You don't want to just do everything with one even lines. Adding definition to the shoe. Again, you can find some inspiration for the shoes and use those. So whatever, you know, style you like, you can just add those. I'm gonna sharpen my pencil a little bit more, and here is the back side, a little bit more definition. Here is the some definition for the swimsuit, for the stripes. Then here you see a little bit of the elbow from the back side, so that's a good area to add some definition. You see pinky on the hands. So you see the back side. You can add some definition to the details. So now I'm going to use my white paint, which is bleed-proof white, to highlight again the hair, add some more you know, highlighted effect. In some areas here. So some for the arm on this side, so I'm adding a little bit more definition on this side of the body. And to the swimsuit, I want to add this, like it's a shiny rhinestone chain that's sparkly, so I'm using white, bleed-proof white for it. I'm gonna add a little bit more little X's, which symbolize shine. I want to add some on shoes as well to have that kind of a fancy evening inspired shoes on her. And I feel like this lines would be nice to have some definition with sequins or rhinestones. That would be kind of fun to add some shine in the lines. So I'm gonna do that, as well as here on the collar of the swimsuit. So it's a little bit, again, more eveningy. So in a way, you want to have fun with this project. Imagine it's like a Las Vegas pool party or Hollywood pool party. So you can wear a very glittering and shiny swimsuit, or design, not wear. So this is kind of the overall design, and I want to just go in with a little bit more definition on the chain with this. So I just want to define and give some more depth, so we see what it actually is versus being so abstract. This is good pants, the Below. That's a good brand to kind of add definition and highlights or line quality to your designs, because it has very precise point, so I like to use it a lot. And then, you know, you can clean up all those areas that look a little bit more fuzzy than you want. So I want to just kind of give a little bit more definition. And then for hair, it's a really good one as well. to finish, I'm just gonna go in and add some more shadows in the areas that I feel I can have a little bit stronger, because when paint dries, that's when you really see the areas that kind of want to go a little bit more, like a little deeper with shadows, and you want to add some more depth. I think this is pretty good. So I'm just gonna finish off with a little bit depth here, a little bit. So basically the middle part is going to be the part where you want to highlight. So it's darker here, darker here, darker here, darker here. This middle part is more highlighted. So that's it.